everybody, this is Caitlin and you are watching Zombie Eats Books. I've been gone for a while, a few months at least. I moved. That's been keeping me pretty busy, and I also started a new job, so I haven't been able to be interactive at all on booktube. I haven't been able to watch videos, and I really haven't done all that much reading actually, but I will do my best to talk about some books that I did manage to read while I was gone, and then I'll also talk about some books that I'm currently reading. So, The Unseen World by Liz Moore. This book is about a young girl who lives with her father, who is this genius in computer sciences, and she is also pretty scientifically minded, and she's sort of a prodigy. She's homeschooled, and she lives a very unconventional life with her father, and then some things start to happen, and she starts to dig into her father's past, and that's where this book really goes. It ends up being a book about family and love, and I really enjoyed it. The one thing that I would say about it is that I felt like it was a bit long in places. I think maybe that middle part, maybe the second third of the book was just longer than necessary, I thought. And it just was dragging on a bit. But apart from that, I really enjoyed this book. I also read The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is a fantasy novel, and it's absolutely fantastic. If you like fantasy and you haven't given this author a shot, I would highly recommend her, at least this book, which is the only book I've read by her so far, and I'm gonna remedy that pretty soon by reading the second book in this series, and I'm definitely gonna try her other series as well. Anyways, this book is, I don't really want to say much about the plot. I will say that it centers around a group of people that have a certain gift, which can also be seen as a curse, and because of that they are treated differently by society, and they don't really have any personal rights at all. This book is told from multiple perspectives, and those multiple narratives sort of converge in this way that's really brilliant, and really what made me love this book is just the structure of it and how she told the story. I mean, the story itself is really interesting, but just the way that she constructed it is brilliant. Next, I read River of Teeth by Sarah Gailey. So this is a novella. It is the first in a series, and while it is pretty short, it's really fun. I breezed through it. It is about hippos, actually, in the United States in the 1890s. It's an alternate history with a touch of fantasy sort of novella, and it's about how the United States started using hippos as an alternate meat source. It all goes wrong, of course, and the hippos are too wild, too vicious, and they're all over in the swamps down south, and there's this motley crew of characters who are really diverse and really interesting who enter the story, and it's sort of a heist gone wrong, because they're, you know, criminals, they're thieves, and people that are experts with bombs and things like that. It does have an LGBTQ character in it, a couple of LGBTQ characters, which was really great, and I'm really looking forward to reading the second one because they leave you at a pretty good cliffhanger. So I also read The Woman Destroyed by Simone de Beauvoir. I don't have a copy of it right now because I apparently lost it in the move, which is a shame because it's a gorgeous copy of that book. Anyways, it is translated by someone, I'll put their name down here, from the French, and it is a collection of 3 novellas. The title story, The Woman Destroyed, is the one that I related to the most, and that I really love that story out of the 3, but they were all very good, and they're all about how women define their existence, define themselves according to the relationships that they have, the romantic relationships that they have with the men in their lives. And it was really sad. The first story, I guess, isn't too sad, but I mean, the whole overall theme I thought was pretty poignant and really well really well displayed, I guess. That's not the word I'm looking for, but I can't figure out what word I'm looking for right now. It's late at night. Anyways, yeah, it made me think a lot, and I love it when books do that. And if you're interested in gender roles at all and reading about fiction and gender roles, then I would highly, highly recommend that book. Yeah, Woman Destroyed, Simone de Beauvoir. Go read it. Now, as for the books that I am currently reading, one is also from a French author, and that is Indiana by George Sand. This is translated by Sylvia Raphael, and George Sand is actually a pseudonym, but the author's real name is Amantine Aurore Lucille Dupin. And this is a story about a young woman who becomes involved in an affair with a man who is not worthy of her. And it's really interesting. Something about French literature that I absolutely love is that I think at least the French literature that I've read, I really shouldn't lump it all together because I haven't read that much French literature, but I've found that a lot of it that I've read depicts the characters in a way that is completely unforgiving. I mean, this author in particular really gets into the head of the characters, of the character of the man that Indiana is having an affair with, and shows how despicable he is, and I absolutely love it. How superficial his thoughts and feelings are, and how fleeting they are, and the reason that he does certain things and makes certain decisions is just, I love that kind of literature where you just really hate and are also sort of amused by how horrible the characters are. This is one of those. So yeah, I'm enjoying this, and I'll talk more about it when I'm finished. I am also reading The Strain by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan. This is one that my husband recommended to me. I did watch the series on FX. I only watched the first season. I think there are 2 seasons out right now. This is about vampires, and it's not your everyday typical vampire. They're certainly not shiny or anything in the sunlight. It involves like worms and excretions and just all sorts of gross stuff. The vampires are not pretty in any way. They're truly, monstrous, and I'm really enjoying it. It's not lyrical at all. It's a plot-driven novel, but it's pretty fun so far. And again, I'll talk more about it when I'm done. So last but not least, I'm also reading Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. This is a gorgeous book. This is about a married couple, a young married couple. They meet in college, and it kind of starts actually before that from the perspective of the husband and how he first sees his future wife, and then how their relationship develops and how he develops as a person and an artist. He's a playwright and an actor. I have only gotten to his perspective so far. I'm not too far into it. I'm hoping to get the second half of the story from her perspective, but it's so beautifully written, and it's one of those books where even though I was afraid of reading it because of all the hype, it actually has met my expectations so far, because yeah, it's just really skillfully written, and I would definitely recommend it so far, because I haven't finished it yet, but I'll talk more about it when I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought about them, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.